She's not what you'd expect. She's tough and feisty, but gentle and tender. She makes millions and gives millions to the poor. She cries, she laughs, she teaches, she comforts. This is the Dani Johnson Show.
Welcome to the Dani Johnson Show. We are so very blessed and excited that you decided to join this conversation with us today. We're talking about money today, and we're talking about equal pay. I don't know if you heard about that story. I'm kind of surprised about the story, honestly. Jennifer Lawrence, very gifted, talented actress who has a great, fun personality, who's known for falling. Yeah, like on the red carpet and things like that. Anyway, she's the star of The Hunger Games, as well as she was in X-Men. I'm not one to follow these things. My son actually happens to like that particular franchise, and so he's talked a bit about it and loves her quirky little personality off camera. But this story came to mind about how she was complaining about how her pay, millions of dollars, millions upon millions of dollars, was different than her male counterparts' pay, and that she felt like she needed to be paid more because of that. And she says, I don't want to be fighting over millions of dollars that I don't need. She just wanted it to be more equal. Well, I find that so interesting. We're not going to be talking about gender pay here, okay? That right there, her statement, bothers me. It really does. Because I believe that you and I are in control of our income. And we are not limited by our gender. Now, right now, you might be in an uproar going, what are you talking about? You know, your hair might be standing on top of your arms and your hair might be standing up in the sky. You know what? I hate to tell you this, but there's been many female actresses who have been paid more than the men. So it's a bunch of nonsense. And the reality is that you are in control of your pay. And you're in control of your pay based on the value you bring to the workplace. The marketplace pays for value. I remember when Julia Roberts was the number one paid actor, period, in Hollywood. Okay, Oprah Winfrey, the number one paid entertainer in Hollywood. Okay, well, in Chicago. But anyway, in the world. Okay, so it's nonsense. And media loves to jump on this just to create a fight and just to get people up in arms and feeling like they're being discriminated against. Now, I know there's discrimination, but whining about it doesn't fix it. But you can do something that bridges the gap, okay? Your pay gap from what you want to make and what you're currently making. You're in control of what you do to help bridge that gap. So today here on the Dani Johnson Show, because success does have to do with some money. And here on this show, every single day, we are bringing you challenging content as well as advice and wisdom that not just comes from one person, but from everybody that calls in and contributes to the program, that we bring you content that is going to challenge you to think differently about things, thinking in such a way that actually helps your success instead of hurts your success. Because this mindset, look at this. I mean, if I'm a director or I'm an investor into movies, and I've got a 25-year-old complaining about the millions of dollars they're making, really? Give me a stinking break. You're young. You've had this big break in your life. I promise you this. Gratitude is what opens up the vault in the heavens to be poured down and rained down upon you. Gratitude. Not complaining, not comparing your salary to somebody else. This hurts your promotion in life. So I promise you, just that statement alone has absolutely caused some investors in the movie business, has caused some directors in the movie business, has caused some scriptwriters in the movie business to go, forget it, we ain't handing this girl another opportunity. She just ran on a very successful, what they call franchise, right? Multiple movies. She's all over the media, and she's complaining about her pay? Here's what I know. The times I've complained about money, money has ran from me. The times I've chased money, money has run much faster than I can. Even though I have a 36 inseam, nope, it has run so much faster than me. So I have found a secret to financial success. And that secret is gratitude. Gratitude and to look for ways to bring higher value into the marketplace. One of the ways to bring high value is to be gratitude, to have gratitude, to be thankful, to look at what I have and to make it better, to see from other people's perspective what they are seeing. I'm sure, hindsight, when Jennifer's older, she might look back and say, I probably shouldn't have said that. I look like a spoiled brat who's entitled, and I look like an idiot because I said that. I think it's very possible. Do you look back on your life and go, I probably shouldn't have, right? Absolutely. Gratitude, man, I promise you, man, that's the way to get it. So let's talk about bridging the gap. Do you feel, let's take gender out of the equation altogether, okay? I don't even want to get into that ring. I just know that self-control is going to run away from me if I get into that ring. I know what topics to stay away from, and gender is definitely one of them. I do not support feminist movements. I do not support feminist mindsets. I do not support movements that are about creating division with race, color, creed, religion. I don't believe in any of that nonsense. I believe that we all have an equal opportunity to do something great with our lives, and it's all in how we see ourselves and how we see others and how we see life determines where we go and how we get there. We are in control of all of that mindset. So let's go here. The question I have for you is this: do you believe that you earn what you're worth? You know, that's a common statement out there, right? That you make what you're worth. I have a little bit of a challenge with that. I've used that statement many times, but as I read it and as I think about it, I'm like, you know, the worth of a person is so much more than just money. So the worth of a person is a little different than the value a person brings into the workforce. That's what determines your pay, is the value you bring. That's the worth to a company for that specific part of your life. But the rest of who you are, your rest of your worth, you have your net worth, you have who you are as a person, as what kind of character you have, what kind of leadership skills that you have. All of that has worth. Who you love, how you express that love. All those things are equations, by the way, in success. And of course, every day here on this show, we are constantly challenging the status quo of success. But I have that question for you. Do you believe that you're earning what the value is that you're bringing to the marketplace? Or do you think that you deserve to make more money? And would you be willing to share with us what those thoughts are? Like, where are you in the pay gap? So, and how do you think that people should be compensated? You know, like what determines whether or not someone gets paid more? I would love to know what you think about that. We've got Corey Robinson from Phoenix, Arizona to kick off the show. Corey, what's your comments on, do you feel like you make what value you bring, or do you feel like you're not being paid enough, or do you think that largely in general companies don't pay enough, or you think they pay right on?
Well, Dani, first I want to say that I appreciate you having me on the show. And in my personal life experiences, a lot of companies just leave people at their pay. When they're hired and they negotiate their pay, they leave them there. And a lot of times they bring more value to the company. They do over and above what they're asked. They're there for many, many years. And there are not a lot of companies that reward for that. There's not a lot of companies that give them kudos or thanks or, like you said, the gratitude to make them feel appreciated. And then the companies wonder why these people are looking for new jobs. They're going to job fairs. They're looking for another place to be hired when they actually burnt that bridge by not showing gratitude to that employee. Yeah,
I think gratitude to the employees is hugely important. I have a question for you, Corey. How many companies have you worked for?
In my life?
Yeah, because you're saying a lot of companies don't give recognition to their people. A lot of companies don't pay people for the extra value that they're bringing. So tell me who the a lot companies are. How many companies have you worked for?
I have worked for close to 12 companies. I've also run companies for owners, hiring and training their employees and trying to teach them how to value their employees.
So how old are you?
I'm 40.
So that's a new company every 2 years.
Pretty much.
Corey?
I'm here.
One thing that companies will pay for is loyalty. Loyalty. And can you tell me how is it that you're teaching companies how to treat their employees instead of teaching those employees how to be loyal and how to find value inside of that company and to care about the company owner who's paying for all of their personal expenses? Yeah. Wow. 12 companies in 20 years of being in the workforce. Well, there you go. There's that one perspective. No roots will not bear good, juicy, fat fruit. When people jump one company to the next, to the next, to the next, it's very hard to find that you are being valued. A lot of people do switch jobs, and they don't realize that actually what's hurting them. And they start in that job with the mindset of, I'll be looking for my next deal after this deal. Definitely something to look at, for sure. Yikes. We've done plenty of shows on job performance. We've done plenty of shows on why people leave. But here is the reality. You get out what you put in. You get out what you put in. And when someone sees your resume that you've been changing jobs every 2 years, they are very cautious as to whether or not to invest into you because you might be leaving soon. And when you leave, it hurts that organization. It hurts them bad. It hurts the people that you work with. It hurts the whole thing. And it costs a tremendous amount of money for when that does happen. Yeah. So interesting. Very, very interesting. So again, do you believe that you're being paid what you're worth? So we just heard a story where worth, okay, so one of the ways to pay people, okay, because this is what helps in job performance, is recognition and encouragement from the management to everybody else. And again, it always seems one-sided. It really does. It always seems one-sided that we expect the recognition to always come from the top down. But how often is gratitude from the bottom up? In most cases, the people from the bottom are not grateful for their jobs, are not asking, what is it that I could do better in my job? How can I help this company grow? And even fewer are actually doing the work that helps the company to grow, but instead they become a burden on that particular company. This is Dani Johnson. We'll continue with more right after this.
If you feel like you deserve a raise at your job and you're not getting it, Dani will show you exactly what to do about it. It's coming up next on The Dani Johnson Show.
Friend, you know me. You know how passionate I am about my faith and the land of Israel. I'm so excited to tell you about something directly from the Holy Land. A good friend in Israel has teamed up with a good friend here in the U.S. to bring an incredible product that harnesses the healing power of the Dead Sea. Have you heard about Mud Zero? Face it, we may not like to talk about it, but some of us need help with removing unwanted hair, especially in unwanted places. Mud Zero is a solution for all skin types for men and women. Rub the mask on your skin, let it sit for 5 minutes, wipe it off, and you have smooth skin without the irritation. Then follow it up with a Depi lotion daily to reduce hair growth by up to 50%. Best of all, you can feel good knowing that over 10% of the profits goes directly to King's Ransom to feed the orphan and the widow. Go right now to mudzero.com and take advantage of an introductory offer they've created just for us. mudzero.com. Imagine living in a decrepit, unsafe hovel made of waste material on top of old mining tunnels that could explode and sink your home at any moment. Imagine no water to drink, no safe place to raise your children, no food for your starving baby. Imagine that your kids can't learn to read because they have to work to support the family instead of going to school. Could you imagine living in that kind of fear and hopelessness? This is exactly what families are dealing with in the poverty-stricken village of Santa Pancha, Nicaragua. These families can barely meet their basic food, water, and housing needs. We are transforming that village. Be a part of this miracle. I want you to go to the website now and learn how you can help. Go to kingsransom.org and click on Santa Pancha. There you can join with other warriors against poverty and help bring a miraculous transformation to Santa Pancha. That's kingsransom.org, kingsransom.org.
If you knew you couldn't fail, what would you do with your life? Discover your own answer. This is The Dani Johnson Show.
I encounter people all the time that say this, Dani, I deserve to get a raise. It's really shocking to me. And it just takes sharing one tiny little tip that helps them to get the raise. And here's the tiny little tip. First of all, what does the word raise mean? What does raise mean? The definition of the word raise. Well, it means to increase. It means to add to. It means to make better. That's how you get a raise, is follow the definition of the word raise. Elevate. How do you get it? Well, you've got to elevate the sales of the business you're working for. You have to elevate the priorities of the owner more than your priorities. You need to increase your production and your efficiency. Make yourself more efficient. You need to decrease the distractions. You need to increase your ability to meet the deadlines. This is how you get a raise. You need to raise your commitment level to that business. You need to raise your attitude, your mindset to be one of an owner of that business. If you see that business as your own, you'll make entirely different decisions than if you were just an employee. And so you can't complain about not making enough and actually get paid more. Because a complainer gets eventually laid off or fired, or in my case, I just pray them out of my office. I do. I pray them out. Like, you need to be done. This is over. We're finished. Goodbye. See ya. That's one of the strategies I have. Sometimes it takes longer. And sometimes I just have to go confront the issue. And actually, quite often. Anyway, so we're asking you, do you feel like you're making what you're worth, or do you feel at general that companies pay with a value? And what do you think needs to be the skills that need to earn more money? Jessica Nelson from Sioux Falls, South Dakota. Welcome to the Dani Johnson Show.
Hi, thank you.
So what about you? You think your pay is fair? You think it's not fair?
I think it's fair for the most part, especially since, if you're not doing your job when you're at work with what you're paid now, then why would you deserve more?
Yeah.
The only area where I have that gray area would be, with entry-level jobs.
Mm-hmm.
I actually started in the marketing industry, and I got my marketing degree, and I started out at $20,000 a year, and that was really tough.
Yeah. How much was your marketing degree?
That was $35,000. Well, for my student loans that I had, I paid part on my own, so that was $35,000 in student loans.
Right. Okay, so you paid $35,000 to make $20,000.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I have a question for you. Did the price of your education determine what you thought you should be paid at an entry level, just fresh out of college, green, no experience position in marketing?
No.
Exactly. So, you don't think it had anything to do with it?
No, actually, I maybe took one thing that I learned from my marketing degree and applied it at my marketing agency that I worked at.
That's sad.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm saying. Maybe you didn't understand my question. You paid $35,000, right?
Mm-hmm.
You were being paid $20,000, and you were only able to use one thing.
Mm-hmm.
So that made you look at the amount that you're making as a devaluation versus what you put in to that career.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't quite add up. That stinks. So you only got to use one thing?
Mm-hmm.
Frustrating, girlfriend, right? Okay, so you're saying at the entry level, you feel like entry level people should make more money. Is that what you're telling me?
Well, I do, just because there's the student loans involved with it, and
right.
A lot of companies today won't hire you unless you have your degree.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so let me ask you a question. Have you ever owned a business and hired somebody?
No.
Yeah. I want you to think about that for 2 seconds.
Mm-hmm.
Uh-huh. That you're going to run the business and you're making a commitment to pay somebody who has no experience. The somebody could be a pain in everyone's butt. The somebody could be coming in there and causing all kinds of disruption amongst the rest of the employees. The somebody could be someone that never even adds any talent or value to the place. The somebody could be somebody that doesn't even show up on time. The somebody could be somebody that PMSs a lot. The somebody might think that Facebooking is working and checking personal email is working and texting is working. But you're going to set $20,000 aside for that kid that just graduated from college who drank their way through 4 years to get a degree, hired other people to write their papers. Does that change your perspective a tiny little bit?
Yeah.
Hold on one second. This is Dani Johnson. We'll continue with more right after this.
So, what is success? A big house? A big title? A big fat paycheck? Dani Johnson has had them all, and you need to hear what she discovered when she had them. This is The Dani Johnson Show.
The whole story of how I went from homeless to millions is right here in this book, First Steps to Wealth. I'd love to give you a free copy of this book. Just dial 888-757-8880. You can get your free copy of this book. It's like a real book, my friend. You can get an ebook copy for free right now, or if you'd like to pay the shipping to get this $15 book to your house, I'd be happy to send it to you. 888-757-8880. Get your copy of First Steps to Wealth today and begin on a brand new path of some great success.
And now, back to The Dani Johnson Show.
I hope that changed your perspective as well. When you put yourself in the seat of the owner and the commitment that you're making to somebody else, to commit to paying $20,000 to somebody else, there's an expectation of what has to be received. And so in the case, Jessica Nelson, I'm bringing you back on here on the line from South Dakota. So hopefully that changes a little bit of your perspective. And then here's the other side of it. The other side is that they start you entry level so that you can prove your way, that you're hungry enough to learn, to work well with the other individuals, and to show your value. You see, that's how the real world works. The real world works that we have to show our value first before we get paid. That's business. You know that every company you've ever worked for, they don't get paid up front and then deliver the goods. They have to deliver the goods and then they get paid, right? When you go to the grocery store, right? Are the goods on the shelf?
Yes.
How many millions of dollars did it cost to fill the shelves?
A lot.
Yeah, so they had to put up front the result and then they get paid for it. That's business. But what's happened is the employee mindset has ruined the business world into pay me up front, and then I might show you the value. Let me tell you, an entrepreneur thinks. The entrepreneur doesn't want to be paid in a fixed way. Pay me for the results that I prove. So have the mindset of being paid for results, and you will always make a lot of money. People who get paid for results make the most money. People who get paid up front for promised results don't make the most money. Make sense? Two different economies. One's a results economy, and that's where entrepreneurs live and business owners live. And the other is a upfront economy, employee economy. But when an employee has the entrepreneurial mindset and lives under the results economy, they don't stay where they started for long. The ones who stay where they're started is because they have the wrong mindset and they approach the business differently.
Yep.
Yeah. So if you started right out of college making $100,000 a year, what do you think might have been your approach to business?
Oh my gosh, I don't even want to imagine it. It probably would not have been pretty.
My point in case right there. Right? What would you have been like to work with if they started you off at $100,000 a year? You would not have been hungry, eager.
I would have become a snob.
Exactly. Exactly. So starting you at that $20,000 kept you hungry, teachable, learning. I can't screw this up.
Yep.
versus arrogant, stupid, know-it-all.
Actually, in my 2 years with the company, I doubled my income.
Hello?
Because of that.
There's something valuable about being in a hungry place that is that you do not get by being fully satisfied with your pay. Yeah, it's awesome. Jessica, thank you so much. It was a wonderful conversation. I absolutely enjoyed it with you. We've got Yvette from Bolden. Yvette Bolden from Akron, Ohio. I've been to Akron, Ohio, girl.
Oh.
That's a nice place.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thanks for having me on your show.
So, thanks for being on the program. Hey, what is your thoughts on this, the pay gap, and if you're being paid what you're worth or whatever? What are your thoughts?
My thoughts are, well, I wanted to say, my thoughts are high pay should be for good skills.
Wait. Whoa. Time out. I want to make sure I'm discerning this correctly. High pay should be for good skills? Why wouldn't high pay be for high skills and good pay be for good skills?
That's what I meant to say.
Okay, I'm just making sure.
But, I feel that I am at where I make the pay that actually works.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I have no complaints about that.
Wow.
What I see, I knew it.
That's awesome.
But, what I wanted to say was, I'm a humble person. I'm not to a point. Well, you pay me what you owe me, and stupid stuff like that. That's what people say. But they don't. Their skill doesn't match up with what they are paid.
Yep.
You follow me?
I totally am following you, girlfriend. I've been running companies for 25 plus years.
Well, yeah, I know. But that's what I was that's what I said on the comment there. I was just saying that high pay should be well, like you said. I mean,
high
I'm
skill.
Mixed it up.
Yep.
I'm kind of excited to be on talking to you, but yeah, to me, I'm a humble person. I don't want for much. I don't expect everything. To be. I just do what I'm supposed to do, and because I'm anchored by God. So
Amen.
I'm a humble person. I don't.
And you know who is paying you. He sees everything that you do, and he honors what you do. And if you want to do more or produce a higher skill, then his financial laws say that then you will yield higher pay. Some people, here's what I found out. Some people just don't want to do what it takes to grow. Some people just don't want to raise their skill. They don't have a right to complain about their pay if they don't want to follow directions or increase their skill. It's really just is that simple. So I love your attitude, Yvette, that you know who you're anchored in, you know who is the one who rewards you, and that you feel it's fair. That's what I sense from you. It's like, I feel like I'm paid fairly. For the job that I do, I feel my pay is fair. And that actually is a winning attitude, that you feel it's fair, because you're in control as to whether or not you want to make more and or less. You're in control of that based on what you choose to do on a daily basis and what you choose to learn. Because learning new skills, more professional skills, learning new professional skills in your job and learning for ways to make your boss's life easier, looking for ways to grow the business, to grow the sales, to advance the messaging, to advance the brand outside of work and inside of work. These things help you because they help the company to grow, and the company sees who does that. And even if you don't think they see you, God sees everything and he will bless you. I just love that. Okay, we've got Tracy Williams from Pennsylvania. Welcome to the show.
Hi, Dani. Thank you.
So what are your thoughts? You feel like you're paid fairly or unfairly?
Unfairly.
Talk to me.
I've been I'm a medical assistant. I work for a heart surgeon. I've been in this field for 27 years. I'm currently at the cap level. Actually, I've been at the cap level for the last 3 years, which means I don't get a raise. I just get this lump sum every year, which isn't really rewarding.
Okay, let me ask you a question.
Much.
Let me ask you a question. One question.
Yes,
So
ma'am.
is your job the same that it was the year before?
No. No, not at all.
What has
It's
changed?
actually more. I have more responsibilities now than I've ever had.
Okay, and when did you get those responsibilities?
Probably since, I'm going to say, December of last year.
Mm-hmm. So you got more responsibilities. Is the skill level for those responsibilities the same as the prior responsibilities?
To some degree, yes and no. There's other people in this office that are the same level that I am. Only the problem is they can't do my job, but I can do their job.
Okay. And so are they also at the cap pay?
Yeah.
So you're sure about that? Everyone's at the capped pay.
Well, no, I'm not sure.
Exactly.
No, I'm not sure.
Okay,
You're
good.
right. I don't know that.
Unless you're doing payroll, you don't know the answer to that question.
That is correct. You're
Okay,
right.
so you're assuming that the people that you can do their job but they can't do yours, you're assuming they're making the same money.
Mhm.
Did your mama ever teach you anything about assuming?
I know I shouldn't assume it's bad.
Well, you know what it because what assuming does is it starts to change your attitude from
Yes.
gratitude to entitled.
Mhm.
And so capped pay comes with a certain set of responsibilities.
Mhm.
Number one, assuming that everyone else that doesn't have your responsibilities making the same amount of money makes your job feel worse.
Correct.
Right? Which changes
Yeah.
your attitude about your pay. Do you want to know when most people have lost their pay?
When?
Is when they've complained about their job.
That's one thing that I learned from your First Steps to Success I went to in September.
When we complain about our job, we will lose our
Yes.
job. This is Dani Johnson. We'll continue with more right after this.
When we come back, Dani has some great tips for Tracy that will help her grow her income and will help you grow yours as well. Get a pen and paper ready. This is the Dani Johnson Show.
This is your chance. This is your shot. Get your copy of War on Debt right now. There's one waiting for you that has your family's name on it. And inside that package is freedom. Your family's freedom is on the inside of that package. All you have to do is open it up, press play, and start applying what I teach you in this program. 888-757-8880. You and I are going to help your family become completely debt-free in the next 5 to 7 years. Just imagine how that's going to feel.
And now, back to the Dani Johnson Show.
Your attitude at work really determines how far you get to go. Your attitude about your business determines how far you get to go, because our attitude really dictates how we communicate with everybody else that we're working with, and they can see how you communicate. They can see the quality of work that you're putting forth. And if your quality of work is higher than your pay, I promise you, it will all get worked out. That your pay will increase if the quality of your work is more than your pay. If you're keeping the owners, the boss, you're keeping their priorities in mind and helping to achieve what those priorities are, and the focus is the overall team and not just yourself, this is where you'll get promoted. And so we've got Tracy Williams from Pennsylvania on the line. We're talking about, she's a medical transcriptionist, and we're kind of dissecting the reason for feeling like she's not being paid enough for her work. And so, Tracy, I love that we uncovered that first thing, that the assumption that everyone else is making the same, but you're doing more, your skill set is more, that diffuses a lie, first of all. Because let me ask you a question. If you were the owner of the business, okay, I want you to picture that you're the owner of the business, and I want you to picture you, not as the owner, but as the employee.
Mhm.
Do you think this attitude that I'm capped and I can't go any further and I don't feel like it's fair for what I'm making?
No.
Would you ever want to give that person a bonus?
No.
Would you ever want to give that person a raise?
Mm-mm.
Do you see what I'm saying?
I do see what you're saying.
Now look at this. Do you think ever in the history of all the intergalactic planets that are all throughout all the billions of universes, that there's ever been a medical transcriptionist with the right attitude who reached her or his maxed out pay, has been paid more?
Yeah.
Absolutely. And what do you think it took for that person to be paid more even though they were capped?
Don't complain and keep doing your job.
Yeah. 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 Does that make sense?
Dani.
Yeah. You're welcome. You need to write your boss a letter and say, I'm sorry. I'm really, really sorry. I've had a bad attitude, and it's not even worth telling you why I had the bad attitude because it's all on my own head, and I've been an idiot, and you're going to see better performance out of me, and I am so grateful, and I love working with you because list 5 things that you can say that you admire about that person. You need to apologize to your other coworkers. Leadership doesn't look at just what they gain. Leadership looks at the whole picture, okay? And leaders get promoted. And you have that chance of facing a promotion regardless of what a cap is. That cap means nothing. That cap means obliterate it. Obliterate it by your performance at work. Or decide, like, do I really need to make more money? Is that really something that I must do? Do I want to put that pressure on taking on more new responsibilities? If the answer is yes, then what classes do you need to take to advance your skill set that would yield higher value from that place in which you labor?
Right.
Got it? 20 years, Tracy, doesn't mean anything in the job market today. It doesn't mean anything. What matters is the value you produce today. Your experience from the past doesn't mean anything. What matters is the value you produce today. Makes sense?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, girl. I'm proud of you.
All right.
You're awesome.
Thanks very much.
Bless
Dani.
you. Bless you. Hey, I want you to Facebook me as soon as you wrote that letter saying I'm sorry. Okay? All right. Bless you. All right, we got, Tim Schultz from Pennsylvania. Pennsylvania's on fire today. Tim, what about you? What are your thoughts about equal pay?
I don't really think equal pay is fair. In our roofing company, we have some people that produce, and we have some people that are the ones that get to go and get stuff for the people that do produce.
Yep.
You know, so their skill level is what they get paid for.
Yep. Now, Tim, as you're a business owner, so as a business owner, who do you have a tendency of wanting to give a raise to? Describe the kind of person that you are compelled to give them a raise. And then I'm going to have you describe the person that you want to fire.
Well, the people that I want to give raises to are ones that take initiative for themselves.
Yes.
They're the ones that
You're singing my love song right now. You're singing my love song.
They're the ones that cause me the least amount of headaches.
Yes.
They're the ones that show up on time.
Yeah.
They're the ones that figure out ways to deal with things instead of coming up with excuses.
Yeah.
They're the ones that do what I tell them to do. They're the ones that care about the property we're working on.
Yeah.
And, you know, just overall, just decent people.
Yes.
So.
And there's something inside of you that makes you go, I got to give that guy a raise. Even if there's no more profits, you're like, I got to give him a raise. Isn't that amazing? So you said, number 1, initiative. Dude, you were singing my love song right there. Initiative. Ah. I felt like you were romancing me when you said that word initiative.
Oh.
Right? Does that not, like there's a love song to a business owner. Okay? So initiative. You also said care. They actually care about the property in which you guys are working on. They're not sloppy. Wow. They have amazing attitudes. Yes. Wow. You mentioned a lot of great stuff. I hope people were listening. They just found the key to getting a raise. Provoking a raise. Now let's go to the flip side of the coin. Who is it that you want to fire?
The people that you have to talk to all day, like, do this, do this, do this. Stop doing that. Watch what you're doing. Please do not do that. The people that you're saying that to all day.
Same people every day.
Yeah, it's like, I told you that yesterday, too. You try not to keep a record of wrongs, but, I did tell you that yesterday. Ones that, like, show up late and they're like, oh, my bad. But you realize that puts the reason why I told you to be here at this time is because I know we're having inclement weather at this time, and we need to get this job done by this time. And it makes a difference.
Yes, it hurts the whole team when someone shows up late. Dude, seriously, someone shows up late and they go, oh, my bad. Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, in my business, I pay guys on closer jobs, I pay them one way. And so if you're not at the meeting place at the time I tell you to, and I have 4 guys sitting in the truck waiting for the 5th guy.
And you're paying those guys for waiting.
Correct.
Oh, my gosh.
Correct. And roofers' workman's comp is like literally some of the highest.
Wow. Wow. See, that's total selfishness when they show up late like that. It's complete selfishness. Right. Wow. 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 Tim, you're awesome. Thank you so much.
Dani, I want to tell you something. Jamie and I, my wife and I, came to...
Hold on one second, because I got to hear this, and I have to cut to a break real quick. When you come back, I got to hear what you got to say. This is Dani Johnson. We'll continue in one moment.
What's holding you back from the life you wish you could have? Is it your job, your spouse, your upbringing, your education, your economy? If you answered yes to any of these, you need to listen carefully right now.
Friend, you know me. You know how passionate I am about my faith and the land of Israel. I'm so excited to tell you about something directly from the Holy Land. A good friend in Israel has teamed up with a good friend here in the U.S. to bring an incredible product that harnesses the healing power of the Dead Sea. Have you heard about Mud Zero? Face it, we may not like to talk about it, but some of us need help with removing unwanted hair, especially in unwanted places. Mud Zero is a solution for all skin types for men and women. Rub the mask on your skin, let it sit for 5 minutes, wipe it off, and you have smooth skin without the irritation. Then follow it up with a Depi lotion daily to reduce hair growth by up to 50%. Best of all, you can feel good knowing that over 10% of the profits goes directly to King's Ransom to feed the orphan and the widow. Go right now to mudzero.com and take advantage of an introductory offer they've created just for us. mudzero.com. For families in Santa Pancha, Nicaragua, life is filled with fear and struggle. They don't have enough food for their kids, clean water is hard to find, and they're living in a decrepit, unsafe hovel on top of mining tunnels that could explode and sink at any moment. But a miracle is in the making, and you can be a part of transforming this village. Go to kingsransom.org and click on Santa Pancha to see how you can help. That's kingsransom.org, kingsransom.org, and click on Santa Pancha.
What multimillionaire do you know that volunteers their time to help ordinary people like you and me? There's only one. This is the Dani Johnson Show.
I'm dying to know what he was going to say. Oh my gosh, what an amazing conversation that we've had today. I know you've learned a lot of stuff. Tim Schultz, welcome back.
If you look at my Facebook, you'll know why.
Oh, what are you saying? Come on.
We're debt-free today.
What?
Yeah, sit down.
Wow.
Hold on to something. Yeah, we wrote the check to finish off our home mortgage today.
Oh my gosh, Tim. When did you come to the first steps?
We came back in 2010 in D.C. And we just kind of went there and kind of went home and didn't really apply. You know, it's like, oh, that's great. And then I saw you at the live event in Bloomsburg with Terry Cornell.
Yes.
And
then
you
came back.
You had a lot of good words for us, for me and my family. And from there, I hit most of them. Well, for the rest of that year, I went to Cincinnati, and because of the job contract, I wasn't able to get to the rest of them that year.
Mm-hmm.
And then 2014, we hit every single one of your events.
Wow.
My wife wasn't able to make one of them, but we hit every single one, and literally that was a game changer for us. 2015.
How much debt did you pay off in the last 2 years?
It's got to be close to 200,000.
Oh my gosh, Tim. I want to hug your neck. I want to kiss your face. I want to hug your wife. I want to hug the baby. I want to hug everybody. Oh my gosh, Tim, this is absolutely amazing that you have done this. I am so proud of you, and I can't imagine how that felt for you guys to write that last check today. We celebrate you today. We celebrate God today. This is an amazing miracle of what happens when we increase our skill, we increase our value out there to the marketplace, we follow directions, we stay plugged in. That keeps us on track. You surround yourself with a community like this community, which I think there's no other community like this community at all. I'm so excited for you, Tim. Man, congratulations. That's amazing. Hey, friend, listen. I know that today's program blessed you. I know that today you learned some very important tips and maybe even had to take a strong look in the mirror about maybe how you're approaching your job, and that if you want a raise, you're in control of getting that. And then if you could be on a path of getting yourself fired, based especially on what we just heard from the wisdom of Tim Schultz, what an amazing story of how he expressed what causes him to want to fire someone, what causes him to want to promote someone. So that all being said, make sure you get your free copy. If you're a first-time viewer of this program, a listener of the show, get your free copy. Go to the website, DaniJohnson.com. You'll see that. Plus, we have a couple of free videos that go along with the book for you. Get a hold of this immediately and begin to change your life as you heard what Tim has done. We'd love to see you at the next First Steps to Success. Yeah, get busy. You can do it. We'll talk to you tomorrow. God bless.
Did you hear that last segment? Do you know someone else who needs to hear it? Go to DaniJohnson.com, find today's show, and share it online. Join us every weekday at 7 a.m. for more insights that will help you get to the life you've always wanted. Did you know you can see Dani Johnson live and in person? Go to DaniJohnson.com and find out about our next live event. First Steps to Success. Register today. Call 866-760-8255 or go to DaniJohnson.com/FSTS.